It's only been a day since Drake released the album, and the general consensus online already seems that it's mid. Some people love it, a lot of people claim that they hate it, but the most common word being thrown around is mid. A term originally used for weed that isn't top shelf but isn't trash either. It gets the job done, but it does not blow your mind. Honestly, it's probably one of the laziest ways to describe an album because mid usually means it's good, but it just doesn't exceed your expectations. And while some of these critiques absolutely have validity, I'm starting to believe that the reaction itself is a perfect example of why the music industry feels so broken right now. I want to dissect the critiques surrounding Drake's album, not because I'm some sort of diehard Drake fan, I'm actually a Kendrick fan, but because I genuinely do not think most music commentators are approaching this conversation fairly. Everybody wants to focus on the negative because it gets clicks, but they're not actually sitting down with the music. Drake is one of the few artists that people want to hate so badly, but because he just makes likable music, almost pop level accessible music layered on top of a hip hop beat. He's one of the only artists today that attracts three completely different audiences at once. His music isn't niche down enough to satisfy everybody equally because Drake has spent his entire career making music for three different demographics: rap fans, R&B fans, and party music fans. And this has followed him his entire career. When he leaned too heavily into the melodic R&B records during the Take Care era, people called him soft. Then during the Worst Behavior era, critics like Charlamagne the God said that he was rapping too tough. So on Scorpion, when he split the album between rap and R&B, people still complained about that because the hip hop fans ignored the R&B side while the R&B side ignored the rap side. Then when he made Honestly Nevermind strictly for his dance and party audience, the hip hop fans hated that too. And because Drake is one of the only artists whose fan base is split into three completely different groups, they all want different things from him. So sometimes people aren't even listening with malice. They're unintentionally listening to music that was never really intended for them in the first place, then critiquing it as if it failed everybody equally. I mean, over 1 million people tuned into this album almost instantly. That sounds impressive until you realize a lot of people weren't actually listening. They were just preparing for an opinion and they weren't listening just because everybody else was. They were waiting for a lyric to screenshot, a meme to repost, or just a reason to just say like, yo, Drake fell off. Music criticism has become less about digestion of the music and more about participation. And if you call yourself a music journalist, I honestly think it's lazy to complain that Drake dropped too much music while simultaneously refusing to actually sit with the music before critiquing it. Like, this is your job. Your job is to listen to music. When did listening to an album once and immediately tweeting about it, tweeting an opinion at that, put critics on the same level as an artist who spent months creating it? Like, please let me know. The source would have waited weeks at minimum to give like an artist 5 mics, but now we're just waiting for the day after. A lot of people are rushing through these albums trying to finish them before everybody else so they could upload reactions, live stream reviews, or just viral takes, skipping through songs, only paying attention when like a beat catches your ear, forcing themselves through a project just to say that they heard it. But that's not real engagement with music, bro. I would define this era as probably the weirdest parasocial relationships that people have with their artists. Like, people are judging Drake as a person before they even judge the actual art. They're dissecting his business decision, his image, his lawsuits, his beefs, and his public perception before they even sit down with the music itself. Streaming culture mixed in with internet culture created an environment where people experience albums through tweets, memes, live stream reactions, and viral narratives before they even experience the actual songs. Nobody wants to admit it, but people are scared not to have an opinion immediately because the internet moves entirely too fast. And the critiques are all over the place. Some people are saying that they're tired of hearing about the Kendrick Lamar beef. But if Drake would have ignored it and completely just left it off the album, they would have probably called the album boring and said that he was ducking the conversation. He addresses fighting ageism, almost being 40, still making club music on the opening track. But if the entire album sounded introspective like that, people would have complained that it lacked energy. People are impossible to satisfy because everybody wants a different version of Drake. And I say all of this as somebody who prefers Kendrick over Drake. But more importantly, I'm a fan of hip hop and fairness. After listening to all three albums multiple times, I came to a realization. If you never liked Drake's style of music to begin with, then you probably won't like these albums either. But if you follow Drake throughout his entire career, these projects are not some sort of dramatic difference from when he first started making music. The themes are still there. The late night introspective is still there. The relationship records are still there. The rap records are still there. So I'm actually confused that people are acting shocked that Drake sounds like Drake. I think the bigger issue is that people no longer allow music to age naturally because people forget even legendary artists went through periods where audiences claimed that they fell off. Jay-Z had eras where people hated. Lil Wayne had mixtapes and albums fans called repetitive. Kanye, Eminem, Nas, all of them experienced some sort of moments where the culture turned on them before the time softened the criticism. But today, there's no grace period anymore. One album just doesn't become a disappointing album. People immediately try to rewrite your entire legacy overnight. Some of the greatest albums in hip hop history were disappointing during their first week. Now, albums are being judged like sports debates, instantly, emotionally, and competitively. Nobody wants to live with music anymore. They want to rank it, meme it, move on to the next discussion. How much numbers did it make? Yeah, mid. Mid might just be one of the most damaging words in modern music culture because it leaves no room for nuance and everything has to be legendary or terrible. There's no appreciation for solid music anymore. No patience, no replay value, no slow burn. The internet has trained people to consume music like fast food instead of art. But I do have a question for you. Do you think this album was that trash or are people just being harsh on Drake because it's Drake? Well, that's all I got for you guys today. If you're looking to be IT just like me, make sure you hit the link in the description. I'm selling Moissanite Hip Hop Jewelry, all set at 925 silver for the best prices. Make sure you tap in with Brooklyn Floss and get yourself right. Make sure you like, comment, and most importantly, share this video. I got another video about Drake somewhere coming around here. I think it's like somewhere down here. I think like maybe, I don't know, maybe here. I guess. My name is ISFMP. I'm coming in with another trigger warning. I shoot films, not people.